than to receive. Who is the weak? He's telling us that we ought to minister, he have ministered unto our necessities and to them that were with me. I've showed you all things that so labor you ought to support the weak. Who is the weak? Who's he talking about? And to remember the words of the Lord Jesus Christ.
People who don't believe in Jesus, believe in God.
Okay?
Won't believe.
There are some of us that are uneducated among us. I've been to school with some kids, and it seemed like they was unable to learn. It came to me so natural, seemed like, but they just couldn't comprehend it. Some underprivileged. You grew up around people that had, and then you grew up around people that did not have. We just wasn't the same. I remember at about eight years old, I met this guy. They called him crazy. He had mental incapacity. I was afraid of him, because he was talking something, I didn't understand what he was saying. And he had this look at me, and he was drilling at the mouth. So I run away from him, I try to stay away from him. At that age, I just didn't understand. And we got kids that need help. Yeah. And not to brag or nothing, but I always try to help kids that are going to college. Ever since I've had a business for the last 15, 20 years, I've always tried to set aside a little bit for scholarship. I believe that to educate us is the only way that it brings us out of our circumstance, is through education. I mean, a helping hand is fine, it's good, if you need it. But if you can educate yourself to change your situation, that's what I prayed for when I was a young kid. I grew up very poor, was lacking in every area you could name. But I prayed to God, just educate me, let me get a good job. And that I could change my family situation.
Yep. Knowledge and wisdom.
Yep, God had gave me wisdom, because when I was young, I was at the top of my class, in almost every category. He gave me wisdom, He knew I would be praying for this before I even did it. And you're looking at one. I took some college courses, but I don't have a 4-year degree. But God gave me wisdom at a young age. And I try to use it to the best of my ability. Sometimes I would veer off from it, but I would come back to it. Mm-hmm. Yes. And what else did he say? There's something else he said about that. What else did he say about that? There are people there that are looking to use it to their advantage. What did God tell us about that? He said, pray for those that despitefully use you. He didn't say stop helping them, but he said pray for them. There's some people in the world that are going to take advantage of any and every situation that they can. And we need to be vigilant and look out for those type of people. And I'm not going to tell you not to help them, but if you feel like you're being taken advantage of, you need to pray. Pray to God about them. Pray about what's going on. And I got a rule in my life. I try to help people. I ain't telling nobody else what to do, but this is for me. I'll help you the first time. And if it's looking like you are making progress, I'll help you some more. But you can't keep coming back to me if you ain't not trying. You're not trying. You can't keep coming back to me. I hate to say no, but I'm going to say no. I hate to say no. But you got to do your part. If I do my part, you got to do your part. That's right. That's right. That's right. Yep. I tell my son, I don't take care of grown people. That's your job. I'll help you, but you got to make some progress. You can't keep coming saying, drawing from the well, they ain't putting nothing in the well. Yeah, I'm getting off. Let me go to my other set of scriptures. It's getting a little good to us, I think. Thessalonians, 2 Thessalonians, work as a witness and the responsible. 3rd chapter, 6 verses through 12. Now we command your brothers in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ that ye withdraw yourself from every brother that walketh disorderly and not after the tradition which ye have received of us. Let's start in the church. There are people in the church that want to come into the church with the same thing as the world. They're out of order, disorder. Some of them come in with lies. They're liars. They're jealous. They're haters, backbiters. These things are out in the world, but for the last 25, 26 years, I've been attending church regularly. I've seen the same thing in church. And I was amazed at the people that come to church for to change their lives are doing all of these things. I was amazed. I said, I can't believe this. Can't believe. Going back and forth, right? Don't like to make no progress. If it's steady raining, your windshield. You know, it amazes me that people come to church and act worse than the people out in the world. But we should change our behavior. Mm-hmm. We are not good witnesses. We should do better. Should do better. We should show the world what it is to make a change in your life. Not doing the things that they're doing, but you know, the pastor always talking about being set apart, being of the world, but being not like the world.
But if we are in here bickering and can't solve our differences that we have, because, you know, we're different people, but anyway, there's a way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
We do it in a godly way,
So,
we don't do it like that. The people in the world look at us like, well, they ain't doing no better than we are.
you see some people in church, they want all their agenda, everybody to follow their agenda. But the church got rules and regulations just like in the world. You got to follow protocol. If you want to push all of your narrative on the church, you're out of order. And you're going to cause confusion, you're going to cause bickering, people to talk about you, and you think it's all their fault. And it's your fault all the time. Because you don't want to follow protocol. There are many positions in the church. If we will stick to our position and stop trying to do all the positions, the church will be run better. We got to be careful on that. Yeah. But
Do it God's way. Now we're in the right order.
but
Sometimes, man, it's just like what Trump doing. All his stuff ain't right.
yeah, well,
That don't mean we follow him. We got to go by him, but it ain't right. But a lot of stuff in church, you do it for
That's what we're talking
We
about.
got to do it God's way.
That's right.
And
And
if we do it God's way, we're gonna be on the right track.
and God tells us choose leaders in the church that are godly. We got to choose good church leaders.
You can't choose church leaders that go like windshield wipers.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You can be in the church, you can be as a leader, but it's still a windshield wiper. Time of the rain come, they come on, boom, boom, back and forth.
If you got a leader like that, then you need to come together and talk about it. You need to talk about it. But wherever you go, yeah, we got to have Christian values. And it should start with the church, Christian values. And I agree with you 100%. We got to have Christian values. And when we set up our leaders got to have those Christian values to run the church. Well, if you don't, you're going to run it in the ground.
And we got to keep in mind that all of us is God's people.
That's right.
We got to keep God's people in mind, whatever we do.
But
You know, we like to say, do one another, and you have anything you want to do.
Mhm.
That's what we got to keep in mind. And love one.
that's right. We got to love one another, and we got to recognize sometimes people make mistakes. I'm not talking about somebody that make a mistake. I'm not talking about that, because we all gonna make mistakes. But I'm talking about somebody that their agenda is to just promote whatever they want to promote. They're not promoting nothing of Christian values, but just what they want to do. That's what I'm trying to get to. Maybe I ain't saying it right, but that's what I'm trying to get to. You know, we got to follow Christ and his tradition.
And
And-
that little grace that used to say, what would Jesus do?
Yep. As long as we follow Jesus, we can't go wrong. Now we're gonna encounter some people that ain't gonna wanna do that,
That's right.
and it's gonna cause some issues. But a lot of things we need to pray about. And he can set everything in order. That's one thing we got to keep our faith. God can set everything in order.
Yes, he can.
He can set everything in order.
And he's the one.
Let's go on to, I'm putting up too much time in one verse. Okay. For yourselves know you ought to follow us, for behave not ours. We read that. Neither did we eat any man bread for naught. I'm gonna go to the New Revised Version. And we did not eat anyone's bread without paying for it, but with toil and labor. We worked night and day so that we might not burden any of you. This was not because we do not have the right, but in order to give you an example to imitate. And even when we were with you, we gave you this command: anyone unwilling to work should not eat. Do we practice this today? You know, if I'm invited to a man's table to eat, and many times I'll say, can I bring anything? You know, can I help you do anything? But if he invited me, more than likely, he's going to take care of everything. But unless we're invited to a restaurant to go out to eat with somebody asks us out to dinner, I'm expecting you to pay for it. But, you know, don't let me eat there. Then when the bill comes, you know, you're like, where's your portion? You know, you invited me, you know. I'm thinking you're going to pay, but many times I'll try to bring a couple of dollars just in case on my credit card, just in case they renege, you know, because that people ask you out to eat don't mean that they are going to pay, but always be ready, right? My mama used to tell me this little story. Said when the boys would take her and her sisters out, daddy would always give her $2 or $3 to carry with her. Said, now if he don't pay for your meal, or he pressuring you for something for your meal, pull out your money. Pull out your money, and then get your ride home. Don't give in to him. I thought that was so funny, but it was so true at the same time. Yeah. And I told my daughter, I thought about that. I told my daughter, I said, I definitely want you after school to go to college. And if you run into some guy or a guy that's not doing what a man ought to do, at least you got your own. Thank God Thank God she has a decent job today.
Praise God.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anybody got any comments on that?
But in this, I see that there was an example left for us to follow, or a model to follow.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a model for you to follow. And that's what I got out of this. And we should follow that model.
Yeah, yeah, the meat and bread that you're partaking of, it may be free for that one meal, but, it's not gonna be free forever. A man should work for his meal. And there are many of us are set on the sideline and let others bring in our meal, our daily ration. I don't understand why they feel like that, but I got some members in my own family like that. It wants everybody else to go to work, and they stay at home, peeping out the window, wondering how soon they're going to get back with their ratchet. And I don't understand it, and they probably heard a few words that they didn't like from me, but I just don't understand why you would want to do that.
But now, in this day and time, seems like you got people now want to work less than you back in the old days. In the days, the older days,
Oh, yeah.
people work. People get out and work. Now you got people that they don't want to work.
Yep, that's right.
You know, they don't want to work. That's why come down like working on the farm and stuff. You don't even, you mostly see Mexican. Like, they don't want to work. They don't want
That's
to
right.
They don't want to come around, sit to the parents' table, stay in the parents' house, until they're 40, 50 years old, still staying with their parents. And when you go on their foot, when they move right in the house. Ain't trying to get down their own.
Somebody get the door for me, please. Verse 11 says, "For we hear that some of you are living irresponsible, mere busybody, not doing any work. Now such person we command and exhort in the Lord Jesus Christ to do their work quietly and to earn their own living." Same thing we're talking about.
Look at all the teenagers today. Look at them. Most of them ain't work. Ain't got no job. Walk around with the pants hanging down.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's even worse to me. I mean, it's not really good job.
The parents that are raising these children, the same one that are in front of you in the grocery line at the restaurant, you can tell what color underwear they got on. You should not be able to look at a man underwear. I mean, what kind of focus your mind is that you're doing such a travesty in public? I just don't understand it. And yeah, the women not showing that much, but it's the guys that are showing. Yeah, that's. I just don't understand the logic of thinking like that, and they're raising their young daughters and sons to, if you can't even dress properly, what are you gonna offer your kids? What are you gonna offer? What advice you gonna offer them? Come on.
On top of that, I have seen them. A lot of times I go there, I let my wife go in, I ain't gonna stay long. That way I can park close and I be right in the car. Those are all the handicaps, they're taking up. But they'll be walking like that with their pants down.
Mm-hmm.
And then when a girl walking beside them with a hat, long dreads hanging down, and got a little bitty kid put them on with them.
Yep.
Now already got a little bitty baby there, put them on with him, and he walking with his pants already hanging down. Now what kind of lifestyle he doing? He probably staying with his parents though, with the girlfriend.
But if we want to set the example in our household, especially men, we need to learn better, do better, that our household would be in order, in line with Christian value. You just can't do it like the world do it. I'm gonna ask you some questions. Why do some of us resent the idea of holding down a 40 or 50-hour job? Why does some of us will do it, some of us will do 80, 90 hours. But some of us will resent the fact that doing 40 hours. Why? Want the easy way out. They procrastinate a lot, don't they? Every now and then I get in a procrastinating mood. I do it tomorrow, You keep putting it off, you know that thing's a week, it's a month gone by. And we just need to get on up and do what we need to do.
But on a job like that, I mean, you can't keep procrastinating with something like that.
You won't have a job when
You won't have a job.
yeah.
Because a lot of them, I do on the job, certain days come up on the weekend, or certain, they come up with something, they wanna take off, you know what I'm saying? And the plant still be running. So you watch me, you know, sooner or later, but then they're gonna have a layoff or something. Those are the first ones that people looking at and they go.
Yep.
Then they squawking about it, they don't want to, you know, why they let me go? But you wouldn't work with them, they don't want you to be there, you know? But they take all that into consideration. And then when time comes to retire, the less you work, the less money you're gonna get,
That's right.
right? They don't look at it.
I worked hard the last 30 years for myself than I did the other 25 years I worked for other people. I worked harder for myself, but I remember working for other people. And there'll come a night, or like a Thursday night or Wednesday night, I want to get with my friends and have a beer or two, just to enjoy myself. But that enjoyment sometimes led me down a path that I should not have went. I enjoyed too much. I drink too much, and I didn't get the proper rest, and every now and then I wouldn't do it all the time, but about once every 2 or 3 months I miss a day for too much enjoyment, and I was thinking about that, and then some people just don't have the desire to work, and like you said earlier, some of them are just lazy, so. We got to stop procrastinating. I was designing, the last conversation I had with my son, I said, son, you got to change your habit. You got to get the spirit up, the can-do spirit. I want to do spirit. And it'll change your circumstance. You got to want to do it, want to do right, want to hold down a job.
But we were always posting in our home charity events at home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so it was modeled in our home that we had to work. And when you get a certain age, you are pushed to go out there and do whatever you need to do so that you can get a job.
Has work become all about money? Do y'all think work has become all about money?
Well, money got a big part in it.
Yeah.
Right now, if you don't pay nobody no money, you ain't gonna get no work out of it.
Should we choose a job or should we choose a career?
Well, a career is something you depend on, you know, long term.
Should our focus be, I'll take this job now, but I'm working on my career? Should that be our focus?
You can do that. There's nothing wrong with that.
I told my daughter when she was in 11th grade, if she go to Burger King and get her job, I'll buy her a car. So she did that, and I went and bought her a little car. But she did it for about 4 or 5 years while she was working on her career. She took the job, but she was working on her career. And she told me yesterday, said, I ain't always drove a BMW. Said, my daddy bought me a car. I went across the railroad track and the radio fell out. I told her, well, nobody bought me a car for the radio to fall out. I went to work and bought my own car. At least I bought you one. But, you know, it's her way of telling everybody that she ain't always had it like that, but she made me feel bad. Okay, let's go into another question. In the beginning, we was talking in Genesis, God created a woman to be the helpmate to the man. Has that changed? Is the woman still looked at as the helpmate to the man? Huh? Anybody can answer that. Come on. Has it changed from the beginning? But guess what? People's attitude had changed, haven't it? People's attitude had changed. And now, what I see, now, y'all might see something different. Years ago, the woman used to stay at home and take care of the household and the children. And things seemed to be doing pretty good. But later on in life, women, they want to go out and have a social status of their own. They want a job and a career. And we'll do with the kids what we can do when we get home after work. So that has changed, hasn't it? Over the years, has changed. And it seems like there's so many divorces nowadays, and many times look like the kids are home raising themselves. Have we changed for the better or for the worse? Come on. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But building up our wealth, have our family status changed. We're building wealth for our family in one way, but seem like on the other end, we're lacking. The kids doesn't get that 24 supervision any longer. Some of them don't need it, and some do need it. And my pastor in the courthouse, man, he see a lot of those young people that doesn't get much supervision growing up. Come on.
Well, I would say was, when you get back to wife and that, well, back in the day now, the wife was, she was at the house, she was also on the farm. When time come to back, she was out in the field.
Mm-hmm. No children on the back one. I was on my mama's back.
They were feeding people
Mm-hmm.
right in the house. They go home and cook and have food for the workers right there at the house and eat the food.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays, a lot of times the wife has to also get a job to work because a lot of times the man too late to get out there do what he wants to do.
There's another.
And the woman said, but as left, she wants things and want a house and stuff. Man, he said that don't want to have work.
But there's another thing I saw change in life. Back when I was a young boy, the convenience that we have nowadays, we didn't have. And all of those conveniences got to be paid for. We didn't have air conditioning. We didn't have cable TV. Many times we didn't have electricity. Now, we improved the family condition, but somebody got to pay for it. So a lot of women went out to go with jobs to help the man out. I can understand that. I understand it, very well. Kids coming home. Now, the kids running up the road, they're doing what they want to do. Mm-hmm.
And they're getting out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
The parents ain't there to supervise them like the kids. And so you win it on one hand, and kids going astray on another hand, especially when you got parents that make sure they doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, we gotta get a balance in life. We gotta get a balance. This kind of falls into my next question category. Are some of us workaholics? And why do we become workaholics?
Well, I put it this way. The way mine started out, I was a person that, like I said, did work, was there, tried to keep things doing the best of my ability. Then once they see a person, who will do, they're depending on you, and look, they got you in there everything that's going on. Yeah. Because they feel like they can depend on you. And you'll find yourself there more than you are anywhere else. You know what I mean? So my wife would tell people that he's married to that plant. That's the way it was. But you got calls all the time, you did go to it.
Yeah,
But it's still in the same sense, and I was a workaholic, but still I was building up a few hours. And so when I did retire, I could draw a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't work a job, don't put in no time, and you come out and retire, and you think you're gonna retire, you gotta go get your part-time job, because what they're gonna give you is enough to live on there. That's why a lot of people still, I retired, but I just want to have something else to do, so I come here and get a job. No, you gotta get out there and do stuff.
In my study, it says the love of money. And sometimes we feel like can't nobody do the job but us. We become workaholics. And sometimes we try to impress our boss. When the boss calls, You drop everything, no matter what your family doing. We want to impress their boss.
Pull that part, I can't go to with your job.
That's what the study,
Our impression on the boss.
that's what the study was saying. Sometimes we try to impress the boss.
I can't look at that. It's not an impression on the boss, because a lot of times, when people call you, you don't even want to even go there, go back to work. So you got something
Yeah.
going on yourself.
That probably ain't you. That probably somebody else that's trying to impress the boss.
You got going on yourself. I know we were going on vacation, they called me, and I was right there in the hospital behind Bojangles, we were getting some snack. And I told we up there on the other side of Virginia now, man. They too late. I said, I can't come to the plant now. My brother started laughing because I was right there in the hospital.
Yeah. That ain't you. But I guarantee you, we knew somebody that would have turned around.
Somebody probably would. We would. That's it.
Then it says, some of us have low self-esteem. We rather work all the time. You don't know how to be sociable, have social deficiency, and okay. Let's see. Are we doing praise and worship today? Do we get a couple more questions in?
We're gonna get a couple more questions.
Come on.
And sometimes I think people take advantage of people like that, good work, they should do that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we try to get it with the phone and come bud.
Oh, yeah.
They call people, that's wrong.
Are we ashamed of some of the work that we do? Or don't have a good attitude towards our job? I've had jobs that I didn't want nobody to see me doing. But it don't mean that I didn't do a good job. I just see somebody I didn't want to see me digging that ditch, I just turn my head. When they pass by, I kept around digging my ditch. Mm-hmm.
People knew that you were work. You were gonna do your job. You catch a person feel like they don't wanna work, they don't wanna hire you. Now you gotta look at it this way. It's good when people do want you to work, and they can depend on you, it's just like a plumber. If you do good plumbing, people depend on, well, you can always find your job, people come tell you, you're up in the woods. And they're like somebody who cooks the food. They can be up in the woods, you say, you do some good food. Yeah, they do good. They do good.
I remember I working at this asphalt plant. I just started. I wanted a job driving truck, either running equipment. They put me on the ground with a shovel in my hand and cleaning up all around the bins, all around the plant. So when I see my friend, turn my head. I didn't want to see that. I didn't have the job that I wanted. It was crazy, but I was 18 years old, so. Okay, we got to wrap this up. This is our Sunday school lesson. It's much easier with two, if you got a spouse or a partner to help you work, and that are supportive of you, you can produce better efficiency, you can boost your morale, you get a chance to enjoy your family. If you got somebody to help you, got to try to do it all by yourself, it limit you. So accept help and be Christian. That's right. Encourage everyone on your job, wherever you go, to be Christian and treat everybody right. Even in church, when you see somebody not acting Christian, you might want to nudge them a little bit. You out of order. Okay, that